Yeah, man. I think you would enjoy Carl Pavano.
Nah.
For the Mariners, I'll take I don't know. I'll take Fernando Rodney.
Dan Wilson.
I'll take the Dan Wilson was a good catcher though. Like I would love him to be
To be back.
to
So
be an announcer, you
yeah.
know what I'm saying, to show up at the stadium. Joey Cora. I'll take Joey Cora. What's my man? Yeah, was it of course Edgar. I would take him. But we talking about like some of the
Tino's ours now.
yeah, Tino Martinez. I was
No,
going
no,
to
no.
say.
He's ours now.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can't. Y'all
He's a
can't have.
Yankee.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. He's a
He's ours.
Yankee.
He's ours.
He's a Mariner, but he's a Yankee more than he's a Mariner. Who else would I put in there? Dave Magadan. Like that's a name that listen, man, anybody claim they was a Mariners fan or a Griffey fan, yo, Dave Magadan. Like, yo, I would take him in the booth just to come chop it up about the 90s. You know what I'm
Jamie
saying?
Moyer.
Oh, Moyer, definitely. Yo, Jamie Moyer gave us some excellent years later on in his career. Like, I saw him in Philly toward the end of his career. It was like, I gotta say, 106 degrees outside with the humidity, and it was storming. Me and the girl I was with, we ended up leaving the game early. I've never saw somebody so hot and bothered and tired on the mound, but he was out there dealing. He was out there dealing, dog. His yo, you could see how wet his jersey was from the sweat. And he was just like taking deep breaths. He was tired as hell, man. It was crazy. He had to be like 43, 44 at the time. He was up there struggling. He might have been about 46.
Probably like 56.
Yeah, Jamie
He
Moyer's got to
up
be in
there.
his 50s right now. Hold on real quick. Doing I'm going to repost this. Then we're going to get started. We are back on Facebook. I'm off ban. You know what I'm saying? These mics are hot. Mark Zuckerberg, you almost had a problem. You almost had an issue. There we go. Let's see. All right. All right. Let me know when you're ready. Super Dave, Super Dave. We talking about announcers though.
Ready, dog. Ready,
Yeah, yeah.
dog. Ready, dog.
Ladies and gentlemen, appreciate y'all tuning back into the Pick and Roll podcast. It's me, it's Chris, and I'm here with my man Super Dave,
Yo, yo.
matching in the blue Denver Nuggets hat, Denver Nuggets t-shirt. It's a logo. He's a Bulls fan though, so if you're a Bulls fan, this is sacrilege. It is what it is, but Dave's really into fashion, man. He's drippy today.
Actually, it's not sacrilegious because it's not a rival.
It's not a rival. All right, so if you show up in a Bad Boys Pistons t-shirt, like that's sacrilege.
Yeah.
Okay, all
New
right.
York Knicks.
Knicks, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Pacers. If you show up in the Pacers
Yeah.
gear, like head to toe, like a Derek McKee jersey
No.
with the Pacers
No.
hat, the old P with the basketball in it, that might be an issue, man.
Yeah. That's just like with football. I could wear any team besides Cowboys, Redskins, Eagles.
Yeah, I used to wear other jerseys. I even had a Patriots jersey I used to swap with my mans at one time, but that's because we was broke, so we just shared jerseys, man. I think
Yo.
it was who was that? It might have been Ty Law.
So remember them reversible jerseys that Reebok used to make?
Oh, the reversible.
I had a
yeah.
Marshall Falk joint.
Yeah.
Colts.
Yo, I remember when the baseball had the spring training jerseys.
Mm-hmm.
I had a couple of them. I had a Pittsburgh Pirates joint, man. I set the world on fire with that. I had the matching Timbs. I had the hat to go with it. They sold me up they sold me everything that one day I went in the store. That was like my first job money. Yeah, so I went and bought some black suede Timbs, some black jeans, and I had this practice Pirates jersey, like a spring training jersey.
So you went in there. You went in there. You was like, "Yo, won't you just buy these? And you get these."
Right, dude was like, yo, you
I
get the
throw
hat
in
with
this.
it. Yeah, I had the hat too with the P. Pirates have one of the dopest hats in baseball history. Baseball has some of the best hats. NFL hats are solid. NBA hats they dope too. But I think nothing beats a good baseball logo.
What's the best baseball hat?
The best baseball hat's got to be the Seattle Mariners S. I think it's the most popular.
It's the White Sox, man.
I mean, even over the Yankees fit it.
think the White Sox hat, like the logo and hat, is like the best.
Well, it goes
Hat.
with everything.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's why I think it's the best.
Yeah, I never was a fan of like seeing your sports team with the off color hat. Like I've seen like a red Mariners hat or like a shiny silver hat. I don't want to see that. Just keep it the colors. Like I hated seeing red Yankees hats.
Yeah,
Even though I hate the Yankees, I despise them. They're scum.
yeah, I hate all the different color. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
If it's not the regular navy blue with the NY,
that's it. Just go with the colors, man. Like get the rest of your outfit together.
'cause a Yankee hat you can wear with like a sports coat, regular white tee. Like you could wear a Yankee hat with anything.
You could wear, yeah, yeah. And New Yorkers do that. You'll see somebody that works on Wall Street in a full suit in a Yankees hat running through traffic like Frogger,
Yes.
like trying to survive to get to work on time. Yeah, like Frogger, just dodging trucks, dodging city workers, cabs, dollar vans, all that, man. But yeah, shout out to the hats, MLB hats. I'm glad baseball's back, man. It's good to feel a lot of sports being played at the same time. It's starting to feel like real life again.
Yeah, especially now that they allowing fans back in. Now it's starting to feel like normal.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And a lot of the southern states were already going to be letting fans in and everything. But I'm just happy that you know, it's a thing across the country, letting everybody back in the stadiums. I think especially baseball, it's one of those sports when the weather's nice. I always tell people that the experience of baseball, if you love the game of baseball, it's excellent to watch up close.
Yeah.
But if you're just a casual fan, it's the best sport to sit down and just chop it up with somebody you're either having a business meeting with or somebody you're friends with. If you even have a date, take your lady to a game or whoever you love, because you don't really miss a lot by turning and speaking to the other person. Some of my dopest dates have been baseball games.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, man. Like I'll tell you, the Phillies game was dope. Even though it was 106 degrees and I was sweating every part of my body, it was humid and it was about to thunderstorm. That was one of the best times. I also did a date at Yankee Stadium one time, and I did one at in Baltimore.
Don't do no more dates at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Felix was on the mound, so
to
she
Se-
had to come rock with me, man. It was 95 degrees.
Go to Seattle, man.
Listen, man. Oh, that's coming. That's coming probably this summer. I'm gonna sneak out there for a couple days, real sneaky. Like I'm gonna wait till after the season is over in the Super League to get out to Seattle. I got a few trips I want to make sports wise, but yeah, man, it was a dope experience, man. Felix was on the mound versus CC. Very rare you get to catch two aces and they pitched ace baseball. It was a great game. I think the final score was maybe 3-2. I think the Yankees end up winning.
Of course.
Both pitchers went like, I think Felix must have went like a 7 1/3. Sabathia went like 8. And what's my man name? The closer.
Mo?
Oh, nah, it might have been Araldis. This was
Chapman? Oh, this was sooner.
Yeah, this
so
was
so it was
no,
Araldis.
4 years ago, 5 years ago. This might have been 4 years ago, but it was nice, man.
What is your sports bucket list?
My sports bucket list, as far as stadiums are concerned,
Yeah.
I want to catch a playoff game in Buffalo. I think it's important for me to feel that vibe, and preferably it's got to be like AFC Championship.
And jump through a table on fire.
And that's it. Listen, I'm telling you, let Buffalo get a home AFC Championship game. I'm going through a flaming table. I might do it if the Mariners make the playoffs. I'm going to go viral because they're going to be like, a Bills Mariners fan, how does this happen? Listen, don't focus on that. Focus on the fact that I might have a year where all three of my favorite professional sports teams are in the playoffs. Got the Sixers guaranteed.
Yeah.
Possible finals.
Possible.
Mariners could get into baseball, and all you got to do is get hot in baseball when you get in the playoffs.
Yeah.
All we got to do is get in and get hot. And then you already got the Bills who have a fair enough chance at reaching the Super Bowl next year. I haven't ever felt this in my life. The Sixers were absolute trash when Ken Griffey Jr. was on the Seattle Mariners. The Buffalo Bills dynasty had just ended when the Mariners ascended in the, playoff baseball. So it's been a wild time. When we got Ichiro, Sixers got good. Bills, trash again. You know what I mean? Like just trash. Like they one team just goes south. It's like they're flying in the plane. Somebody just grabs the controls and pushes them forward, and we out of there, man. It's wild. It's wild. And just to think, like the Mariners, it's wild. Like them and the Buffalo Bills, they shared the longest playoff drought. Bills broke it 2 years ago. Seattle still has it, and they're at 21 years, I think. So they both stopped making the playoffs at the same exact time. It's just that Buffalo broke the curse first. Sixers had just got good again. I'm telling you, man, sports. People doubt my fanhood sometimes, and they'll say things like I'm really not a fan, or like I'm really not into the teams that I'm into, or like I don't know what I'm talking about. But for me to stick this long, I should get a Purple Heart.
Yeah, you need to contact your teams and be like, man, look, I'm Chris. I'm from Jersey, but I live in
Yeah,
Philly, and I've been rocking with y'all. Hook a brother up.
that's it. Like, yo, I
All
got
the
a
pain and
podcast.
suffering that
Yeah,
they done put you through.
right. I got a podcast. Let me get some, I don't know, seats on the first base line. Let me meet a couple of the players.
Yeah,
I'll shake hands with like Iwakuma. He be coming back. You know what I mean? Let me take a couple pictures. Let me throw out the first pitch of the Mariners game.
ooh,
It'll be even a road game. Because I also want to be one of those people. I really could throw. So I'm a sidearm that joint right over the plate.
you gonna throw it from the mound, top of the mound?
Yes, of course. Wouldn't you try that?
Yeah.
That's a bucket list. I want to throw out the first pitch at a Major League Baseball game. So that means I got to do something that either makes me, a hero or makes me infamous.
And if I'm watching it on TV and you bounce it, check
I
your
would
phone.
never bounce it.
Check
Dave,
your phone.
Dave, let me tell you something. If I'm the VIP, guest of honor, whatever, I'm coming to the stadium an hour early to get warm-ups. When the players go back after they warm up, or after BP or whatever, I'm getting out there to get off that mound because I'm gonna get this leg pushing off.
So you're gonna be in the bullpen, loosen up your arm.
No, I'm gonna be on the mound, letting it go. I'm gonna work on my release. I'm gonna make sure my right knee is good. I'm gonna make sure my the leg I step with is good. My left, I'm telling you, man, I'm letting it go. People gonna see it, and I'm gonna tell them to clock it because I'm pretty sure I can give you 73, 74. That's it. It's gonna be a straight sidearm now. My shoulder ain't what it used to be, yo. But that is a bucket list. What's your bucket list, though, man?
A Bulls home game
Okay.
and a Florida State football home game.
Are they still allowed to ride the horse and do the mascot?
Yeah.
All right, because there's a lot of controversy with Native Americans and stuff. But I thought that was one of the craziest things. Like, that's one of the dopest things I see in sports.
Yeah.
Because that dude gets dressed up, whoever that is, and he's out there getting busy and throwing his staff in the ground and hyping everything up. I like that, man.
Yeah, that's my bucket. Well, it just can't be any Florida State home game. They got to either play Miami or Florida.
Okay.
It's got to be one of them.
Oh, Florida State, Florida game.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Or
Yeah.
Florida State Miami game.
Yeah, FSU and Miami. Damn, yo. Look,
I don't
I'm gonna
want to
put
go.
that in the
I
air
don't,
for
I don't
you.
want to go down there when they're playing Wake Forest.
No. You don't want to see
I
that.
don't want to do that.
You don't want to see ACC football in general.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we're not doing that. Yeah, man, that's good, man. Sports bucket list. I think of some others, man, but I've already met like Allen Iverson, so that was on there. I met like the Super Bowl Bills back in the day when I was a kid. I don't have like the most vivid memory of it, but I remember doing it.
Just say the AFC Championship.
AFC Championship.
Don't say
Super Bowl years. They went to the Super Bowl,
'cause
man. All right, man. All right.
They didn't show up.
All right. Look, I'm going to leave this alone because you always got the trump card, Super Bowl 25, which was the greatest Super Bowl ever played, in my opinion.
And your best player, Scott Norwood.
Listen, man, he saved a lot of He got us through a lot of games during that year, man. He was a damn good kicker, man. Just he was in the toe era still. He wasn't like Del Greco, the soccer style kicker.
I was nervous during as he was lining up for the kick when I was young. I hid under the table, the kitchen table.
Listen, that was tough, man. That was tough, man. And I was sitting there, man. The crying that I did that day, it prepared me for the rest of life, man.
Yeah.
Well, like you can't disappoint me more than missing a game-winning kick in the Super Bowl
And lose by one.
And then when kicking gets better years later, it's that you start looking back like that's just a chip shop for guys now. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then well, when you were those old toe kickers, they struggled from turf to grass. It was like it was hard to to have continuity on different surfaces, man.
Well, I appreciate you, Scott Norwood.
Shout out to Brad Deluiso.
That's right.
Yeah, Deluiso, man. Look, man, the Giants, y'all did y'all thing, man. Y'all had what's my man name? The running back, Flipper Anderson.
Otis Anderson.
Oh yeah, Otis Anderson. Yeah, man, that dude ran. He ran through our little 3-4 front. Our nose tackle wasn't ready.
We had a great game plan though.
It was
We had a great game
run the
plan.
ball, keep us off the field, because we would have ran it up and had y'all came out there and
We
tried
had
to
a-
shoot it out. And Hostetler wasn't built to shoot it out.
No, and our defensive game plan was Belichick came to us and was like, came to them and was like, because that season we didn't really allow running backs to get 100 yards,
Yeah.
and they were like, order for us to beat Buffalo, we have to let Thurman Thomas get 100 yards.
Listen, because Jim Kelly, James Lofton, Andre Reed.
Keep that K gun
Listen.
in the holster.
Listen, man. And Kelly was still mobile then, too, with a cannon.
So
He had a lot of rushing yards that game, too.
Yeah. So we just gave up the run and was like, you won't beat us with your arm.
Well, but that was a game of strategy. It wasn't a coach with ego. Both teams, like our defensive game plan was pretty solid. It was bend but don't break. And if Bruce Smith moves his hand down 2 inches, Hostetler fumbles out the back of the end zone, and it's a safety, or he recovers and it's a touchdown. And we're not even talking about a Super Bowl loss and Super Bowl 25. I mean, it was just, that was football. It's really a game of inches, man.
Yeah, man.
Speaking of football, we might as well start with the draft. So we're looking at the NFL draft this Thursday. How you feeling about where the Giants are?
I don't know, man.
Have you read any rumors? Because there's like 900,000 rumors, and I'm exhausted.
I stopped reading them.
Yeah.
I done heard we're gonna pick edge rusher. We're gonna go O line, wide receiver, tight end, trade up, trade down. Like I just stopped. Now that it's a couple days away, it's just like get here.
All right, so put your GM hat on. You're the Giants GM. What do you want them to do? What would you do if you were in that position on draft day?
I might go O line,
Okay, O-line.
or I would trade back. If I know I'm gonna go O line, I'll trade back to get more pieces.
If you know you're going to go O-line?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or like, just since we're at 11, just see how if my number one option goes before 11, then that would be like, all right, now I'm gonna trade back.
Is there a number one prospect that you would like to see that's like an O-line pick? Like which player really fascinates you?
I like the kid. What's his last name? Slater from Northwestern.
Okay.
I like him.
Who's the kid that sat out? I know you know what I'm talking about. He didn't play, but he was the top-rated lineman.
Panay Sewell,
Yeah, Penny. So where's he from?
Oregon.
Oregon. I was gonna say Washington. I knew it was a Pac-10 school.
See, I would want him.
Yeah.
But I know he won't last at 11.
11. The way they were talking about him, I don't think he's
No,
gonna be
he's not
around.
gonna let. And now that Miami just traded Eric Flowers, he might go at 4, or whenever Miami pick.
Miami picks at number 6 because they
6.
traded with the swap with San
so
Francisco.
he might go 6.
Oh wow. Miami has so many draft picks, man. I don't know. I don't think that's necessary in football because at some point you got to put a winning team together. I think if you do it, that you can only do that for 1 year,
Yeah.
and you need to get most of what you need. You need to have a difference maker or at least a solid contributor at every level that you're drafting on. To
Yeah.
have what do they have, like 11 picks in the first 3 rounds or something like that? It's absurd, and also those guys aren't going to help you right away.
No.
So next year you need to be spending your money on to put veterans around them.
Yeah, when the team has 11, like that many picks in one draft, like, to be honest, like, when you draft those guys, either you're going to trade some of them or you're drafting for someone else.
Yeah.
Because some of those guys aren't even going to make it at a preseason.
No.
And then they're going to be on somebody else's roster.
And what's crazy is even when teams do keep, like, they have multiple picks in the first 3 or 4 rounds or whatever, a lot of those guys don't pan out. Yeah. I've never seen, like, oh, man, like, you really got to reach back. There's a couple of teams throughout the last 30 or 40 years, like the Herschel Walker trade. that's probably the most successful, draft day heist ever because they put together a dynasty off of that.
Yeah.
But a lot of that dynasty came together, bringing in free agents and cultivating
They got
the
Emmett
guys you already had.
out of that draft, right?
Yeah, they got Emmett. I want to say they got Troy Aikman too.
No, I don't think they got Troy.
Or was
Aikman.
Troy already there?
Troy was there because I think
Because they were 1-15
Troy went
under
1 and
Troy Aikman.
15.
Yeah, he was getting smacked. Okay, so Troy was already there. They got They might have got Leon Lett out of that draft.
They might have.
Yeah, and Nate Newton. I could be. Yeah, they probably got them. We could look it up.
Larry Brown or some shit like that.
Yeah. Do we really care about the Cowboys though?
No,
not at all. Not at all. But speaking of the Cowboys, Jerry Jones says he visions sugar plums when he thinks of being able to draft Kyle Pitts.
If anyone out there has ever heard of that saying, like,
yeah, please comment.
Comment.
If you're watching the video, I see there's some people watching. Please comment. Has anyone ever told you they vision sugar plums when they speak to you? What's going on, C. Wright?
Drench Radio.
Drench Radio. Catch him tonight on Facebook, man. We support the supporters, man.
C. Wright's a Willenboro legend.
Yeah, he definitely is, man. He's a wave creator.
That's right.
He's a wave creator. I remember all he could do was dribble, no jump shot.
Me and C. Wright had one of the longest handshakes ever when I was in Willenboro.
That's absurd. I never was the handshake guy. It's too much work.
C. Wright had a handshake for pretty much everybody.
He did have like all these different greetings. He was a very colorful person.
Yeah.
I ain't got time. I'm giving you cool dap. We're gonna lock at the fingertips and then let go real hard. And then I might snap or something like that. Or pat my chest like, peace, God.
That's it.
That's it. Peace, King. But let's get back to the Cowboys. Jerry Jones, Kyle Pitts. Cowboys now. You already have several weapons on offense.
Yep.
You got Zeke still in place. I don't know what he's going to give you, though. I really think they need depth at running back, and they need to get a little more dynamic there because it's time to start planning for life without Zeke. I don't know what Zeke Elliott has left in the tank. I don't know what his commitment level is to football. Or I don't know if he's just worn down. But then you still got Amari Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
You still got CeeDee Lamb.
Mm-hmm.
So you're set.
Michael Gallup.
Yeah, Michael Gallup. I don't know. Does Kyle Pitts really put you over the top? Because you still got to play defense. And Sean Lee just retired.
Yeah. Well, Sean Lee, it was about time that.
Yeah. He was always hurt.
He was always hurt, and I think it was time for him to retire, but he was a nice glue guy to win because Van Der Esch is starting to become injury prone. So Sean Lee is
from that win to Sean Lee to Leighton Van Der Esch, I've never seen a more snake bit linebacking core than Dallas.
And Sean Lee was that guy to be like, all right, they're hurt. We could just plug you right in.
Right.
But now that's going to be big just in case. Now, let's say Van Der Esch gets hurt again, which track record shows that he is. Now, as far as depth, who you got back there?
Honestly, if I'm the Cowboys, I'm trading back because I need to stock up that defense. There's a lot of good corners out there. There's a lot. You can find depth linebackers. If I move out of that pick, I want to pick up an extra second and an extra mid-round pick, probably like a fourth or a fifth.
Yeah.
I want defenders. I like Kyle Pitts. Vertical threat, big, strong, decent blocker, decent enough blocker. Nobody's really a blocking tight end like they used to be.
No.
I don't see this franchise-changing player at tight end that people are expecting. It's the same stuff we said about David Njoku, and look what happened.
Yeah. I think he's more athletic than David Njoku, only because Kyle Pitts is basically like a big wide receiver.
Yeah.
Njoku, he's a tight end, like he's muscular.
Yeah.
So you can only do a little bit with him.
Yeah.
But Pitts, you can use him as like a Travis Kelce. You can line him up outside. You can throw him in the backfield or whatever. As far as that pick with the Cowboys, I don't like me personally. I'm telling the Cowboys, go ahead, go get him.
Yeah.
Because I got to play him twice a year. But that's gonna make your offense that much better. But then that means you didn't address your defense.
You didn't address it at all. And all people got to do is keep your offense off the field. We're just going to attack your defense, attack your front seven. Right. And I think a lot of NFL teams that have weapons, even in their division, except for the Eagles. Eagles aren't doing anything this year. It's Eagles fans, It's not happening. Look forward to 2024 by the time you guys get competitive again.
Yeah, it's over.
Yeah, it's over. It's over. That run y'all had, it's a wrap. Welcome to Rich Kotite 2.0.
Yeah, it's over.
But I'm looking, the Giants are pretty obliged to shoot it out with you, given the weapons that they have. If I'm the Cowboys, I'm looking at that saying, well, Saquon's coming back. And what if they get a complimentary back with him or go get one of these top wide receivers? What good is that going to do? Do we really want 35, 38 shootouts with teams? Or do we want to have a complete team that travels and can play outside of Cowboy Stadium?
And then that's what it's as their defense was how bad it was last year. That's what it's going to be like. Yeah, you brought Dak back,
Yeah,
but Dak can't play both sides of the ball.
he can.
Dak can go down there and score, give you 7, cool. But your defense got to go down there, and then what good is it if your defense is going to go out there and give up 7 right back?
This is one of the riskiest years to have these top picks, like top 10 picks. Because I want to switch to the 49ers. You made all these trades, gave up all these picks. You had all the draft picks like it was a video game. Now, you're looking at Mac Jones. You're looking at Justin Fields on the board. All right, we've already talked about Justin Fields falling in the view of the NFL scouts and the way teams look at him. I just have a hard time believing Mac Jones is the difference maker they need if they're going to move on from Jimmy Garoppolo on draft night. Because Kyle Shanahan's words were, they asked him, can you guarantee that Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be on the team after draft night? He says, I can't even guarantee all of us are going to be alive to the weekend. I don't know how you say that. I'm starting to think Kyle Shanahan doesn't know what he's doing.
I'm just not a fan of Mac Jones at all, especially going that high.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm a firm believer if the 49ers could have got him at 12.
Right.
Like, he wasn't being talked about at all.
Not at all.
Leading up to, even leading up into the college football season, he wasn't being talked about. Like, Alabama quarterbacks just don't do anything for me.
Because how much do they really have to do at that level? They have all of the competitive advantage that you need. So one of the pros are he's big, he's stationary, but he's got an arm that can reach anywhere on the field, this, that, and the third. You know who he reminds me of? Ryan Mallett. All right. So then the knocks are, well, we don't know if he can get to a second and third read efficiently. We don't know if he can break down defenses. The proponents of Mac Jones are saying, well, that's because the team was so talented. It's not that he can't do it. He just never had to.
Right.
Fair enough. But also, how can you say that he has that ability if we've never seen it?
Right. Like, of course it's going to say, oh, we've never seen him go to a second and third because your 1 is always open.
Exactly. Your 1 and your 2 is always open.
I saw a meme earlier today. I can't pull it up. But at one point, Alabama had Mac Jones wasn't the quarterback then.
Yeah.
But at one point, there was Derrick Henry, Alvin Kamara,
Crazy.
TJ Yeldon, and I believe it was another big name running back. All was at Alabama at the same time.
Wasn't it Trent Richardson? I think he was on his way out.
I think he was on his way out.
On his way out when they came in.
All at Alabama at one time.
That's crazy.
Alvin Kamara had to transfer to get playing time.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Alabama's always stacked with talent. I don't know who that was. It might not have been Trent Richardson. Well, no, I think it was. It was about 8 years ago.
Like it's
4 or
crazy.
5. Yeah, maybe like 6, 7 years
That's
ago.
why I don't put much stock into Alabama quarterback.
I can't. And there's, like we said, the last Alabama quarterback to make a difference at the NFL level was Joe Namath. That's it. There's no legacy of Alabama quarterbacks being successful. No. And Saban really doesn't even have a legacy of having successful quarterbacks in his coaching career.
No.
Even since LSU. Who do you have? Rohan Davey? Yeah. Was he the coach then?
I believe so.
Was he there for Ryan Perilou?
What was he there for Jamarcus Russell?
He may have had Jamarcus Russell. And that does not bode well for anyone. He may have been there for Jamarcus Russell. Because, you know what? He went from He went from LSU to Miami Dolphins, then from the Dolphins
To
to
Alabama.
Alabama. I think that was him with Jamarcus Russell. They won the championship, but that defense was just
They didn't
crazy
win it.
good.
They didn't win the championship with Saban.
Then it wasn't
They
Saban.
they they won the
We got a
championship with Les Miles.
with Les Miles. Okay, all right. You sure Russell didn't win it? Oh, he won.
But it was
He won the Heisman though.
but it was Les Miles won the championship, but with LSU. But those were Saban's recruits.
Those were Saban's recruits. Okay, all right. I know it was around there because he went to the Dolphins in the late 2000s after LSU. Then he landed the job at Alabama. But that speaks to if the 49ers take Matt Jones, like I feel like there's with the amount of picks they had, there's so many other ways they could improve that football team. Because I don't think Jimmy Garoppolo's a great quarterback,
No.
but he's serviceable.
Yeah.
He's a guy that if you put players around him, he can complete passes and do what he needs to do. He has the ability to play another couple of years for you and give you some decent football because you're already competitive in games in a very, very tough division.
Yeah.
But to get rid of Garoppolo and throw Mac Jones in there to the Wolves, or maybe they plan on starting the backups. I don't know.
I mean,
It's crazy. I just don't understand.
trading all of that to move up to 3, and now let's say they do take Mac Jones,
Right.
and he becomes the same as all the other Alabama quarterbacks. Now you have to deal with Arizona because Kyler Murray is young, so he's not going anywhere for a while. Matt Stafford got at least 5, maybe with the Rams, and then Russell Wilson still in Seattle. So
Yeah.
this draft right here, because San Francisco gave up this year's first. Did they give up next year's first? They swapped this year's first, and then I think they gave up 22 and 23.
They sure did.
So this is a big. This third spot is big.
Yeah.
If you take Mac Jones and he doesn't pan out, you don't have a do over until 2024.
That's what I don't understand. I mean, I don't see any other positional player that you'd move up to take. You're set at tight end, Kyle Pitts off the table because you got George Kittle. And I mean, you have like Nick Mullins is a decent backup. You got I think CJ Beathard is still there. Right?
I would put C.J. Beathard in before Nick Mullins.
I mean, I've seen Mullins play decently, is what I'm saying. He's not the worst backup. Like, to me, the Niners have depth. I don't think there's a reason to supplant Jimmy Garoppolo right now, especially in the season where the cap is. Like, and then give next year's college. Everybody tries to project what the quarterbacks are going to be next year. You don't know because they're going to have a full season next year. You don't even have a full season this year, and you're hyped off of a guy who played with one of the most talented teams in the country on a short schedule.
Yes.
That I don't understand. I think the Niners are trying. Like Kyle Shanahan seems like one of those guys that's trying to mess this up.
They're putting so they traded up for a quarterback who had 2 of his receivers might go top 10,
Right.
and his starting running back is going to go in the first round.
It's crazy, man. Not Najee Harris. So my team, Buffalo Bills.
That would be a good pickup for y'all, Najee Harris.
I would like Najee Harris, but now here come the rumors. Rumor number 10,746 on 94 different websites. They're talking about us trading up for Travis Etienne from Clemson.
I'll take him too.
You'll take Travis Etienne? I don't think we should trade up for him, though.
No, I wouldn't trade up for him.
We have Devin Singletary. We just signed Matt Breida. We got this kid, Zach from Utah. I can't think of his name.
I thought you were talking about the trade with Evan Ingram going to Buffalo.
Well, Evan Ingram, that was the other rumor,
You can have
and
it. You can
I
have
am
him.
not for it unless it's like I'll give up a 4th for Evan Ingram because he might get rid of the yips. If he can get rid of the yips and the drop C's, then I'm okay with it. But Buffalo has had, over the years, I'm just weary of guys who have had problems catching the ball. You know, getting open is one thing. Catching the ball is a whole nother. And you got Josh Allen throwing to you.
Evan Ingram is Roberto Duran.
Yeah. Hands of stone, man. But yeah, that's my issue with Buffalo. I don't think we should be trading up for a running back. We're already drafting at 30. If Najee Harris falls to us, to me, that's a successful first round.
Yeah.
I want to go to sleep. If Najee Harris is on the board, I will sleep comfortably if we get him. Because that also it's sad to say, but we're probably gonna move on from Devin Singletary, who I really like, but the team seems to not like him much. He's shifty and he's versatile, but they're not with him. They're comfortable with Zach Moss,
Hmm.
5'7" power back, which I don't understand.
Nah, I think
He's a slow Darren Sproles.
yeah, I think Najee Harris will work out great with
Right.
Buffalo. I think
And he'd be a great compliment to Matt Breida, who's
yeah,
explosive. You know what
I
I
think
mean? Hard
ATN will
running,
be a good
explosive.
running back for Buffalo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think y'all should trade up for any one of them running backs.
Yeah, yeah. The only time you trade up for a running back is if Walter Payton is on the board, or
Barry Sanders is
yeah,
on the
O.J.
board.
Simpson. That's when you trade up. I'm not trading up for any of these guys. They also didn't show much in a short college football season. Um, I saw some interesting names. I saw an article today. Players that are on the trading block come draft night. Zach Ertz. That's a name that's floating around Buffalo. We may be able to get him for a 6th or 7th round pick. But I kind of doubt that because that should have already been done.
Yeah,
If he was available for a 7th round pick, they should have did that move 2 months ago.
yeah,
You know, immediately after the Super Bowl, say, give us Zach Ertz.
yeah. A seventh round pick is basically a undrafted free agent.
Yes, a long snapper. Yeah, you get a great long snapper or a gunner.
Kicker.
Yeah, you get a good gunner. There's a lot of great gunners in NFL history that have gone in the 7th round.
A gunner.
Yeah, you get a guy. He might have an 11-year career though doing that because you're never gonna have to pay him, and he will never make more than he's worth. That's it. You know what I mean? He'll always rise to the level of his salary.
Yeah, I got tears coming up.
You know, I'm telling you, Joe, a gunner straight up. So another player that was interesting, Donnell Hunter, the defensive end from Minnesota, because
Okay.
he's unhappy with his contract. They're talking about the Vikings moving on from him. I think he's a difference maker. You're not that big on Donnell Hunter? Why? What's going on?
I'm just not.
I mean, they were comfortable enough getting rid of Yannick Ngakoue and going with him last year, and he showed up. He showed up. It's just that now it's contract time, and he wants his money.
Them edge rushers from Minnesota really don't be panning out like the big name guys. Like we signed
That's true.
one of them. His last name is one of them African last names.
Oh yeah. I think I know who you're talking
We
about.
signed
Yeah,
him. I mean, we'll see what he gives us.
I got you. Another name, Julio Jones, just popped up. The Falcons got to let him go. He's always hurt, but also you don't have enough to put around him to compliment him. He's no longer capable of lifting the level of the team. Unless you could find like a young stud to put on the other side of him, then you might breathe an extra year. You might breathe an extra year into, his career. But other than that, where do you see Julio Jones going? Who has a need for Julio Jones?
Green Bay Packers.
Green Bay Packers. Wow. That would be deadly to the NFC North and the NFC in general.
They should.
They should pull the trigger
They should call Atlanta now.
ASAP.
Yes.
A quarterback like Aaron Rodgers could get him the ball. In that offense, especially with their running game that I like, I actually like the way they run offense. Aaron Rodgers is not a fan because it's not as freewheeling and running and gunnish as he's used to. He's used to autonomy. But I like their measured approach. I think that's how you win 13 games over a season rather than having you just run around and draw a freehand on the canvas.
Yeah, like Green Bay should make that call.
And you could design a lot for Julio. And I don't think Julio should cost you more than a 4th round pick.
And you can't double him
No,
because of Devontae Adams.
because of Devontae Adams. That would be nuts.
Yep.
That would be nuts. I could also see him going to Seattle. I could see him up in Seattle. I think he's a big target that Russ needs. Russ has one in DK Metcalf, but you could put Julio Jones on that other side and make something happen. I mean, more talent in that case, I don't think it would be a bad thing. I could also see him in Indy with Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
He could complement them because they've got some shifty, some quick receivers, but I think a big target, especially in the red zone, would be good for them. Just health is always a question with him, given his recent history in Atlanta.
Yeah, because he's a physical wide receiver. He doesn't run
Right.
out of bounds. So
No, not at all.
I'm trying to think of other teams that that would fit with him. New England.
Hey, man, they can give my boy Terry McLaurin in Washington some help. I love Terry McLaurin.
He got Samuel from Carolina.
What's his name?
Uh, Curtis Samuel.
Oh, Curtis Samuel. But Terry McLaurin seems to be the one that's eh, eh, he's the only steady playmaker on their team. Like if you watch his numbers, they're insane week to week.
With no
He is the
quarterback.
only viable weapon on that offense
With no quarterback.
with no quarterback. If you give them Julio Jones, it still matters who's playing quarterback, but you're not going to require as much.
Nah, get Julio Jones out of the. Keep him out of NFC East.
I got you. Oh, now I get it now.
Send him to the AFC East. And not Buffalo.
Jets, it wouldn't make sense.
Jets here go and die.
Yeah, he'll retire. I think if I'm Julio Jones and you trade me to the New York Jets or the Miami Dolphins, I'm retiring.
I'm retiring.
Yeah, it's a wrap. I made my money. Thank you. I'm gonna pull a Karolinko. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
I don't have time.
Yeah.
I ain't got time for it. So yeah, they're saying, do you expect the record number of trades in this draft night like they're predicting?
Yeah. I see a lot of wheeling and dealing going on.
A lot of willing and dealing.
Especially because they're saying what is 5 quarterbacks that can go in the first round.
Yeah.
A lot of teams that know that they don't have draft picks in the next first round draft picks in the next couple of years,
Yeah.
they're gonna try to move up to get something. So I'm looking at a bunch of trades.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Like I wouldn't be surprised if we trade down from 11.
And there's quite a few teams that are a couple of players away. One of them being Oakland. That's a team that I really want to watch and see how they handle this draft.
I heard they might try to target a quarterback.
Yeah. Also the Chargers. Now that they have a quarterback in place that's young, he's on the rise. Justin Herbert. I'm curious to see what they can do.
He should have been in a Giants uniform.
Oh, Justin Herbert. I mean, listen, man. I'm a Daniel Jones fan. I don't think this is fair, man. And we'll get into this after. We'll talk about this next week after the draft, because then we can start looking at what the roster is looking like. But Chargers are one of those teams. Their roster is a lot better than where they're drafting.
Yeah.
So I think this is the perfect time for them to come up and challenge the Chiefs and possibly surpass the Raiders in that division.
I think they already passed the Raiders.
You think so?
Yeah. I think
The Raiders are right there though, 8-8, 7-9. Like that's their thing right there.
I think the Chargers are the second best team in the AFC West.
That's not. I can't disagree with you, because they didn't find out they had a legit quarterback until mid-season last year.
Right.
Until Tyrod Taylor got stabbed in the lung by the team doctor.
Yeah, they did it on purpose.
I'm trying to tell you, man. I'm one of those people.
They did it.
Like, listen, Tyrod Taylor, his destiny is a bridge quarterback, and for that to happen, it's just too freaky.
Yeah.
It's like
out of the blue, like, oh, you're warming up before the game, and it's like,
yeah, the trainer uses the longest needle to go into your chest. Like, it's wild, man.
come here.
Anything else in the draft you're keeping an eye on?
Well, we already know, like, the draft starts at 3. Because
Right.
we know Trevor Lawrence is going 1. We know Zach Wilson's going 2.
Yeah.
So the draft starts at 3. I'm interested to see the trades, and I'm interested to see what New England does.
I'm interested to see if anyone's going to take a chance going up to get Trey Lance. I hear so much about him. I almost think ESPN is in his pocket, because they showed me I've watched 2 Trey Lance exposés so far in the last week.
See, a quarterback like Trey Lance, you can draft him, and you don't have to play him right away.
No, you don't.
Like that, he would make a perfect sense at 3 for the Niners. Like, you can keep Jimmy G, you can sit him for a year or whatever, or let's say you trade Jimmy G and you can start C.J. Beathard or Mullins, knowing that when you draft a quarterback at 3, he's gonna play.
Right.
Like, it doesn't matter if it's gonna be this year, either this year or next year, he's gonna start. So you could trade Jimmy G, get some for him, start one of them backups, and let Trey Lance sit, and then when it's time to go, get him in there. Your defense, you were only bad last year because your defense was hurt.
Yeah.
And then the 49ers, they were on their 6th-string running back.
Yeah.
So they're not bad. So they're getting all of these guys back from injury. and they're going to be right back in the playoff picture.
And they were highly competitive in all their games.
Yeah.
At no point last year did I look at the 49ers as chopped liver. Like
No.
they were a solid team. Trey Lance, if you have an Aaron Rodgers sort of career path for him and you're going to sit him for 2 or 3 years, I'm okay with that. If I'm trying to think of, because here's one thing I saw on Facebook, right? And people were saying, "Oh man, these draft scouts never know what they're talking about." And it said Aaron Rodgers has a good chance of being a bust. And it was all this stuff like the projections they had. And yeah, it's easy to say in hindsight that they were wrong because I remember that draft. Alex Smith was the most pro-ready prospect in that draft.
Yeah.
He was ready to come in and play day one.
Yeah.
And I hate when like casual football fans try to say, "Oh, they were wrong about that." Alex Smith didn't have a bad career.
No.
He was never in the greatest situations. And when he got with Andy Reid, he put up video game numbers, and they were in a video game offense in Kansas City.
Yeah.
That is the offense that Patrick Mahomes is running.
And when Alex Smith went to the 49ers, they started building a defense
Yes.
and then gave him Frank Gore and Vernon Davis, and he had weapons around him to where, all right, my defense is playing solid. If I just give us 10 points, 9 times out of 10, we're gonna win this game.
Injury, it has been the misfortune of Alex Smith's career because it allowed the rise of Colin Kaepernick, and then it also allowed them to say, "Hey, in Kansas City, we're going to move on from you." And then in Washington, it struck again. He's only ever lost his job due to injury. So when I was reading that and people were saying like, "Oh yeah, these scouts got it so wrong on Aaron Rodgers," he sat for 3 years in Green Bay with behind a quarterback with a complete team. He had to do nothing but learn. Aaron Rodgers,
from a Hall of Fame quarterback.
the Aaron Rodgers that took the field for the first time as a starter is not the same Aaron Rodgers that was drafted. And I want people to understand that. Like these scouts, where you get drafted is very important and what the situation is there. Look at Sam Darnold. Now, I'm a Bills fan. Y'all know this. I think it's better. It was good that he got out of New York in the middle of that first contract because he's not a bad quarterback. He was never terrible out there on the field. He was just in some of the worst situations that I don't care if you put Pat Mahomes on that team, they're not winning football games. No. There's nothing you could do. It's a bare cupboard.
Never put anything around him in New York.
Exactly. Geno Smith. Like, this is what I'm saying.
And Geno was putting up video game numbers in college.
Exactly. It's all about where you go. So I'm interested to see how things pan out and who's going to make the WTF move of the draft. I want to see if there's a Mitch Trubisky trade up in this draft. Because I think Mac Jones would be that player.
It is. He is.
If somebody jumps up and tries to jump ahead to take him, that is nuts.
Yep. I think Mac Jones is going to be a couple years from now. 49er fans are going to be like, what were we thinking?
One team, and this is if they absolutely love him, that I could see making sense to jump up and draft him because they pretty much shored up a lot of their holes in free agency. New England. Because you only got Cam Newton for one more year. He's on a 1-year deal. You got that backup kid, Jarrett Stidham. Mac Jones is your Tom Brady-esque as far as archetype, but there's nothing similar about them. Tom Brady actually performed in Michigan.
Yeah.
People just don't remember.
I just saw something that New England was talking to Carolina about going to 8.
Yeah, I did see that. I saw that report
And
too.
maybe for Justin Fields or Trey Lance if one of them goes down there.
Well, also Stephon Gilmore has been the subject of trade rumors because they're looking to try to move on from him.
He only making $7 million.
Yeah, man. That contract was front loaded.
Yeah, that's a if a team thinking about drafting a corner,
Yeah.
they might as well just trade with New England.
I really like this Pat Surtain, the third kid.
Yeah.
There's some good corners out there, and I wouldn't mind pairing them on the other side of Trey White, one of these corners late in the first.
So you willing to trade up for that?
No, I'm not willing to trade up from 30. I mean, how far are you going to be able to get? At that point, without giving up stuff that you need. Because we could use depth on the D line.
Mm-hmm.
If there's another linebacker out there, I don't want to do that. Like if I'm a late round GM, I don't think there's anybody in this draft worth mortgaging, you know, other picks that I need to fill out my roster. Because like we were saying before the podcast, rounds 3 through 6 are where your 10, 11-year difference makers are going to be. If you look at all the dynastic teams, a lot of those guys were mid-round picks.
Yeah, that's where you find your gems at.
That's where you find your gems. That's where you get your Jerry Rices. That's where you get guys who come out of nowhere and end up carrying your team.
Yeah,
Those are the
Michael
guys who get their
Strahan's.
name on the wall in the Ring of Honor or the 12th man or whatever.
Strayhands, the Bruce Smiths.
Right. Yeah. That's where you get those guys, man. So the
Them
NFL
them
draft
hungry
is,
guys down there.
what'd you say?
I said them the hungry guys down there. They want it.
They're hungry, yeah. And then a lot of them are from mid-major schools that
Mhm.
you know that where people overlook how good they are. And I'm glad people are finally starting to look at mid-majors too, because you get a lot of really good linebackers out of mid-majors.
A lot of them.
You know, it was crazy how many people didn't really. You had to really catch. Only reason I caught Khalil Mack in college is because family in Buffalo. And it was, hey, take a look at this Khalil Mack kid.
Yeah.
And then, you know, talking to my pops, I'm like, okay. And I'm like, oh, one-man wrecking crew. This is Bobby Boucher on steroids. You know, and I'm wondering who that player is going to be. The NFL draft is probably the most compelling draft in professional sports because the results, you're going to see the results a lot sooner than you will in baseball because in baseball, a lot of times guys got to go through the system and work their way
You
up.
got to go all the way down to what? Rookie A T-ball.
Yeah. You got to play in front of my crib. Yeah, first. They're like, all right, get the stick, get the ball. Let's just get a tennis ball out here.
That's
Let's
right.
figure out what you can do. You know, we're gonna break you down and build you all the way up. And in basketball, you know, things are so iffy with a lot of these prospects. I just remember being excited about Wendell Carter, and now look, man. I'm not saying that to diss the Bulls. I'm not taking a shot at you. I was genuinely excited. I think I talked to you about it. I was like, yo, I like the guy. Athletic. He's got long arms. He seems active in the paint. I was like, I like this. He just hasn't panned out at all. At all, man. And then, you know, the Aaron Gordons, you know, they've hit their ceiling already.
But other sports, you have more opportunity.
Yeah.
Like with baseball, like you don't go straight to the majors, so you start. It's a bunch of minor league systems, so you
Right.
can play. Basketball, if you don't pan out in the NBA, there's the G League, there's overseas.
Yeah.
And football, if you don't pan out, it's over.
Yeah, you're going back to your hometown. And
Either you
people are
go
going to
to-
talk about you.
Either you go to the CFL,
Yeah.
and then it's not that many jobs up there, or you go get a regular job.
Well, XFL is supposed to be back this year, I think.
Okay, that.
Yeah.
But then, or you go get a regular job.
That's it.
Like, there's only three avenues as far as football for you to go. You either go back get a regular job, or you become a coach.
Yeah, man.
So you have
It's tough.
football. You have to be that guy. And when you get drafted low, you have to show them that you're hungry, and you get on, and then you just ride that wave.
Yeah, man.
Basketball is easy to be like, all right, if I get cut from them, I'm just gonna go overseas,
Yeah, man.
and then I can have a successful career, a Stephon Marbury career overseas, a Jimmer Fredette.
And shout out to B Mac. So I'm gonna ask you this: in football, would you rather be a top 10 pick with all that pressure, even though they're paying you all that money, or would you rather be a third-round pick, knowing that you got the skills and want that opportunity to take yours? Because you can also get out of your contract earlier.
Yeah, I mean,
Ain't no 5th-year option.
no, like,
Third and fourth round, son.
yeah,
You
like,
got me for 2 years.
it all depends on like who you are. Like, if you're a person that like that loves the pressure,
Yeah.
then take me in the first round, and then let me and watch me work. But then if you one of them guys that like them third rounders, where it's like, look, I'm a fly under the radar.
Right.
Y'all don't know my name, but y'all going to know my name.
I went to University of Houston. You know,
Right.
I was a weak side linebacker.
Right.
You know what I mean? A solid pass rusher. Y'all gonna find out.
Yeah, I got I got a couple touchdowns under my belt.
Right.
I'm not this guy that broke the school record, but then I might wind up having a better career than him.
Yeah. I didn't have the turnover chain around my neck
No.
often, but I
I,
did my thing.
I was the one giving them the turnover. They're like, here, put it
Exactly.
on your neck.
I'm the guy that forced the fumble that he recovered and made
And
the
he got the
touchdown.
glory.
Yeah, yeah. So that's why that's the question. And I want to see who these guys actually turn out to be because, like I said, that's the greatest thing about football is the middle round picks, man. I really want people to pay attention. These are guys, and I love when they show the highlights of these guys when they're getting drafted. You're like, yo, it's straight slaughter.
Yeah. Oh, he's coming to us.
Yeah. Oh my God. Like it's one of those things.
Do you like the number rule that they changed?
I'm not a fan of it. These rule changes are for fans and for jersey sales and just to let players have a little more autonomy in choosing numbers. I don't really care for it. I don't feel either way about it. The numbers were what they were. To me, you make your number.
Yeah.
I don't care. If I was a wide receiver going to the league and they said, Chris, I want you to have number 16. Okay, I don't care. Because you know what? I want to be number one in the record books, and I want to be a Super Bowl champion. I want to own my own car dealership and have a legacy in whatever town I play in. I want you to come to Buffalo, ride down Delavan, and I want you to see Chris Miller's car dealership and number 16. Come get a Chevy with number 16.
Just
That's it. Come get a new Silverado with my name on it. That's how legends are made. They make the numbers, not the other way around. The number's not going to make you.
So you want to be Coach O'Shea?
That's it. I want to be Coach Danny O'Shea. That's it. I want to be remembered forever for making that number high.
Have Chris Miller, the Pee Wee Field over there.
Right. Put my face on the water tower. All of that.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what I would want. So it's just going to be interesting, man. But let's shift gears, man. Steph Curry is still destroying teams.
Hey, man, you just got to sit back and enjoy it.
He had a scoreless first quarter the other night. Hurt his foot. Switched sneakers. Ended up with 32 points in the final three quarters. I mean, if there's anybody on a greater world tour ever in history, it has to be Michael Jackson. Because Steph Curry is on a tour right now. He's on a tear.
He's giving it to everybody.
I mean, this is for me being the real sports fan. I'm gonna always remember this. I'm gonna look back as a 50-year-old man and say, remember when Clay was out? What Steph Curry was doing to teams? This one of a kind player who just crosses half court and breaks the monthly 3-point record with the half court or damn near half court 3-pointer.
Half court 3-pointer.
That was crazy. And I've never seen somebody have so much fun playing basketball. A lot of guys have fun. They'll hype up the crowd. They'll wolf. They'll talk. They'll get fired up. Steph dances. He shimmies. He does it for the fans.
He's having fun.
Yeah, man. He points at the other bench. He laughs at them.
That's the like people don't realize like they're professionals.
Yeah,
That's their job. But at the end of the day, this is a game.
it is.
So the game is meant to have fun. It don't matter what sport you're playing, football, baseball, basketball, hockey, soccer, track, whatever.
Right.
It's meant to have fun. You know what I mean? And then Steph is out there having fun.
I would have, like, as a kid, I can't blame any little kid for wanting to be Steph Curry right now.
No.
Because you want to still retain that joy. I don't want you to be all serious. I don't want you to go to the NBA and be Xavier McDaniel. I don't want you to be the worm. I want you to just have fun, enjoy the game. And you know who I see that from? Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
He's playing hard, and that kid, I don't ever want them to take the joy of basketball from Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
I don't care if he becomes the greatest player of all time. I want to see him have fun. I don't want the politics to get in the way of nothing because he's pure.
Look, man, I encourage everybody that has NBA. If you got NBA League Pass,
Yeah.
check out the Timberwolves.
The Timberwolves are balling.
Check out Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
He could play.
Yeah, their record doesn't speak to how hard they're playing.
Right.
And at first, I was like, Karl Anthony Towns needs to get out of there. But now I'm like, hold fast. Give them a full season. Give them another draft. And instead of trying to draft another star, start drafting the pieces that are going to elevate them. Start drafting that lock-up two-way guy. Start drafting, your rebounders and your big bodies to help Towns out. Start thinking of another way for this to go because I think the Timberwolves are on the cusp of being that next team to jump up.
Yeah.
Because Anthony Edwards, I mean, he's a man. He's a man child.
Yeah, man.
I was like, for everything we say about Zion, athletically and physically, Anthony Edwards is that for a wing player.
And I didn't think he was going to be this good this fast.
I didn't think so either. But that goes back to my theory about two-sport guys. If you're really, really good in two sports, basketball is going to come easy.
Easy.
I mean, you could tell, like, there's football in him.
Yeah.
And from playing with those Southern dudes in Georgia, you know, he looks like them.
He is them.
Yeah, yeah, he looks just like I remember it. Like these dudes are flying past me. They're strong. They're hustling for every rebound. They're not trying to get a jump ball. They're trying to rip that ball rip your arm out the socket.
Yeah.
And then he's smiling. He's laughing post game interviews. I love watching that. It's great for the game. I want to see more players just enjoying basketball.
Yeah, because like I said, like once you get to the NBA or whatever you're doing, like it just seemed like everybody got to take that serious approach.
Yeah, like listen, I don't want you to be a businessman.
No.
I understand it's a business, but don't be a businessman.
Right. Have fun.
Yeah. All right. So what like I'm glad they got off the suit thing. They got
Yeah.
them wearing like regular clothes, just look decent. You know what I mean? But I'm just glad they got off of that. I haven't watched this much basketball in a long time. For this to be a shortened season, this is probably the most regular season basketball I've sat down and watched. And Steph Curry honestly makes me watch these games.
Yeah. It's the run that Steph is on, like every time they playing, you gotta
It's must-see TV.
you gotta watch it.
It's must-see TV.
You got to.
Speaking of runs, the Knicks just had their 9-game winning streak snap. What are you seeing from the Knicks? What do you attribute their success to?
Tom Thibodeau.
It's got to be Tibbs, man.
Tibbs.
Dare I say, Coach of the Year?
Oh, I don't know. Because
Should he be a candidate?
Yeah, he should be a
Okay.
candidate. But the reason why I say I don't know because you got to look at what Utah's doing.
Okay.
You got to look at what the Suns are doing.
Yeah.
That might be it.
But
I don't want to put Steve Nash up there.
no, he's the. Listen, man. I already have my thoughts about Steve Nash being the coach.
And I don't want to put Doc Rivers up there.
I think Doc is in the discussion, but
Then if Doc's in the discussion, then you got to put Steve Nash in the discussion.
no, because Steve Nash was gifted pretty much a super team.
Doc was gifted the best center in basketball.
Okay, but not Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and then James Harden. And then they didn't coerce James Harden into the tank in Houston. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how much Steve Nash is coaching. Mike D'Antoni's on that bench.
Yeah.
I don't know how much Steve Nash has to do, especially with no coaching experience. It's very tough. I think there should be an asterisk next to his MVP. I think there should be an asterisk next to his Coach of the Year candidacy.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
That's
like,
an
I don't
MVP.
think he has ever earned much of the
Asterisk next to which MVP?
the
The first or the second one?
first. Actually, both. I don't like either of them. But definitely the first was like,
They had the best record in the league.
yeah, but
MVP goes to the best player on the best team.
and I hate that. I hate it. But going back to Coach of the Year, I would say Doc should be in the discussion, but he shouldn't get it because Tibbs took a basement team.
Yeah.
And they have no fundamental changes. He's
No.
taking the same players from last year and making them work.
That's it.
And I don't know how you can argue against that.
No. That's why that's why I say it's gotta come down to either Tibbs or whoever finishes with the best record out of the Suns and the Jazz.
But see, the Jazz were good last year, and the Suns, is that more Chris Paul or is it more the coach? That's where
It's Chris Paul.
it's Chris Paul.
It's Chris Paul.
So Chris Paul should be in the MVP discussion.
He
First
should
of
have been
all,
in the MVP discussion last year, but
Yeah.
they trashed my boy.
it's like I don't think Nick Nurse should have won Coach of the Year when Kawhi won the finals, right? Because Kawhi is what took your team over the top.
Yes.
And it was your first year coaching.
Yeah.
I need to know. Right now, the Raptors are not a winning team. They're fading fast. They're not going to make the playoffs. They're not even in contention for the play-in game.
No.
So,
Are they?
No, I think they're like 9 games under 500 at this point. I'm almost positive. Let's check the standings real quick.
I'm going to.
Yeah, definitely take a look at the standings, but I don't think they're there. And that's one of my
No, you're there 12.
yeah, they're 12th. Nick Nurse didn't deserve it then. I didn't like him getting that then, especially since they moved on from a brother that had the best record in basketball the year before. It was coach of the year and got fired. So
Dwayne Casey, right?
Dwayne Casey.
Yeah.
I thought that was garbage. How did you win coach of the year and get fired?
I don't know. That
Then they trade DeMar DeRozan for Kawhi Leonard, and you're going to credit Nick Nurse to that?
was terrible.
If that's not favoritism or
That's just like with Nick Nurse winning that award. That's just like when people was telling me that Kyle Lowry is the greatest Toronto Raptor player ever.
it's nuts. It's nuts. He wasn't the greatest player at any time of being on that team.
No,
Yeah. Have y'all seen? I would like to tell people, pull up the tape of the Sacramento Kings when he was there with Jason Thompson and those guys. And he might have caught the end of Lawrence Funderburg. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, whoever was out there in the Kings, I don't remember who was on those teams. But what I'm saying, that's an absurd statement. But with this year, when I look at how these teams have performed up and down the NBA, Tibbs is the only coach that has been the sole difference in how they've been performing. He's got Julius Randle playing above just all-star level basketball.
yeah,
Julius Randle looks like an upper-tier player. Not elite, but, hey, this guy might be a second of a three.
Tibbs he has like he lets his players know like my star players are gonna play.
Right.
It's a 48-minute basketball game. You're gonna be prepared to play 45.
Yes.
Like if you don't like it, go somewhere else. And guys now they want to low manage.
Load manage young guys.
There's no low manage if Tibbs is your head coach.
Yeah.
Like Tibbs is the reason why Derrick Rose got hurt.
He is. Put miles on him.
Like we were number 1 seed playing the Sixers in the first round.
Yeah, we were.
We're up by like 30. Why is Derrick Rose still in the game? But playing for Tibbs wore down Luau Deng. You're gonna play 45 to 47 minutes a game playing for Tibbs if you're one of the best players.
Yeah, if you're one of the best players. Yeah, I've seen Luau Deng. He took a hard beating. His career ended so fast.
Yeah.
He had so many miles on him at the end. Boozer was already, he used up the last little bit of Boozer. Taj Gibson, I saw it, and he still had some basketball left in him, but he definitely wasn't the same athletically.
And Taj is playing major minutes for the Knicks
Yeah.
because he knows Tibbs' system. That's why they made that deadline deal to get D Rose.
Yeah.
He knows the system. Tibbs he knew that I can't get to where I need to go with these young point guards. Give me my guy, and we're gonna run. And they went on that 9. It took the Suns to end their 9-game streak.
It definitely took the Suns to come out there and get it done. Shout out to the Knicks. I hate saying that.
Yeah.
They're rivals too. That's sacrilege, but I like seeing, teams make good decisions and then actually make use of the players that are on the roster instead of just tearing up the whole roster saying, oh, everybody sucks. You goodbye. We're going to be sorry again for 8 years. Like, I'm glad that that's not happening. We're talking about having fun playing basketball. One team that I want to speak on, the Boston Celtics do not look like they're having fun playing basketball. I saw them the other day against the Hornets. The Hornets look like they're having fun. And Miles Bridges is starting to look like more than a highlight film.
Yeah. What do you like 35 or something like that?
Inside, outside game, and he's knocking down these threes off the dribble. He's pulling up mid-range. He's catching and shooting. And he's also dunking on everyone.
Everybody.
If you're in the paint when Miles Bridges is coming,
Move.
yeah, or foul. I'm a proponent of the hard foul.
Yeah.
Not today, sir. Not on me. Not this time. The Hornets look like they're having fun playing basketball. But when I was watching them versus the Celtics, that is a team that is lost. There's moments where they can't find a bucket, and you just start seeing like the emotional guys on the team just really, start doing their own thing. They really start just freelancing.
The Celtics, when I watch their games, I think 1 through 5, they just shoot too many threes.
Way too many. And they're all isolation off the
Yes,
dribble threes.
yes. It's like it's 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 really hard to watch them.
It's very tough to watch.
Like
And I think they're really trying to make sense of Kemba Walker and who he is now.
right.
He's not the same Kemba Walker he was 2 years ago when you signed him.
Mm-mm.
And I had a feeling he wasn't going to be there either because he's at that age, late 20s, turning 30, and he's so small. His game is dependent on explosiveness and aggressiveness.
This how bad it is watching the Celtics. Other day they were playing the Bulls,
Yeah.
and I turned the channel.
Yeah, man.
Like if I can't watch my team play, like I turn the channel. Like I don't want to watch it because the Celtics is like, and they, you see like they're a good team.
They have really good players,
Like
borderline great players.
they just can't put it together. Like
No.
they can't. They're very inconsistent.
And that is a big issue I have. And then also, someone has to acquiesce. Somebody on that team has to stop trying to be a scorer, and they got to turn into a defender and a passer. And it's got to be one of those wing players.
It has to
And
be.
if you ask me, it's got to be Jaylen Brown. Everybody loves Jaylen Brown. They're saying he's as good as Tatum. There's all this debate whether he should get that role too or they should run some sort of two-man game. No, you're going to have Paul Pierce and Antoine Walker. You don't need that. Because right now, in the night to night, one of them is looking like Antoine Walker, jacking up a lot of shots and missing.
Yep.
They never play great at the same time.
No.
And to me, Jason Tatum is the higher ceiling, more skilled, bigger body. It's time for Jaylen Brown to be 3 and D.
That's why I thought they should have kept Gordon Hayward and let Jaylen Brown walk.
I thought so too. Because I think Jaylen Brown's ceiling, in my opinion, is clear. He's never going to be a top player. But he got his money. Send him. Pack him up, send him, and get yourself a front line that can help Jason Tatum out. Get you some guys that can rebound and score in the post.
Yep.
And then find a taker for Kemba. It's time. See, Danny Ainge, if you look at him, 3 or 4 years ago, he was a genius, right? According to the media. He fleeced Philly in the draft of Markelle Fultz. He had all these draft picks, made every trade. They were
Before he did that, he fleeced the Nets out of their future.
out of their future, yes, for KG
And Paul Pierce.
and Paul Pierce
And Jason Terry.
and Jason Terry, yes.
What they got, like 1,200 draft picks?
He's made one too many moves now. And then his drafts have been underwhelming. Like, I hear the announcers try to dress up Semi Ojeleye and Grant Williams and make us think that, oh, these are solid NBA. No, they're not. These are guys. He's a guy.
Yeah,
Semi Ojele's a guy.
Grant Williams, he's solid. I think his ceiling is like he's never gonna be a NBA All-Star or great.
No,
He's gonna be a Charles Oakley.
exactly.
He's
Yeah,
gonna be that person.
a scrapper.
Semi Ojeleye, I don't know what category we could put him in.
I don't know who he is as a player.
Like I just don't know. Like I watched a couple games where he was like in the starting lineup, and I was like, how is he on an NBA roster starting?
Yeah. And then we came in here, we talked about the Evan Fournier trade. So you added shooting, but here's a guy who's a spot-up shooter with some handle, but he needs to work in an offense that moves the ball around.
Yes.
And people setting screens for him to get open.
Yes.
They got him playing ISO ball now, trying to just dribble around and find a clean look.
Because I think it's because when you go to Boston, you see that.
Right.
So it's like, in order for me to try to fit in, I have to be this as well.
Right.
So there's no, oh, I'm gonna pass it here and I'm gonna go cut opposite, go set the screen for this guy. No, it's I'm gonna pass you the ball and then everybody's gonna stand around and watch him dribble, that person dribble, and then chuck up a three.
And Marcus Smart's not one of my favorite players, but he's the only guy that's playing team basketball in that starting lineup. They're just talented enough to not be a losing team, but they're going to get bounced in the first round.
If Boston was in the West, they would be toast.
Oh, they would certainly be toast. I don't even know if they'd make the play-in tournament.
No.
Right now, what's their seed? What's Boston's seed position? Because I don't even say they beat the Hawks in a 7-game series. Because I think the Hawks are just a well-oiled machine. They now understand their roles under Nate McMillan, and they're flourishing because of it.
Boston is 6.
Boston 6.
Got 1 game
And
lead.
the Hawks are what, 4 or 5?
5.
The Hawks are 5. So, 5-4. Hawks and Knicks.
Yeah.
That's going to be a series. I'm
Boston,
going to watch that.
Boston will be playing Milwaukee right now.
Oh, that's going to be a series. Yo, because I predicted Atlanta to be like 6 or 7 when I thought we were going to have a full season in the preseason. I got to pull that comment up so people don't think. Because I usually hate on Atlanta sports, but I love Trae Young, and I love what they were building down there. He has a lot of complementary pieces around him.
Boston is 1 game out of that seeding joint because they
Oh.
Miami's 1 game. Miami's 7. They 1 game behind Boston.
So this is what I'm saying. Boston being at 6, I think they're clearly losing to the Bucks. Drew Holiday takes one of those guys out of the game, and the rest of them just run scared of Giannis. They don't approach the paint, so they're just gonna jack 3s. I honestly see that happening, and I could see Miami possibly catching them. I do think Miami is short a scorer, and I know they have shooters, but here's the problem: Jimmy Butler. As much as people like him, he did good in Philly. He's not an alpha scorer.
No.
You need a certified bucket out there. He'll get to 30, 32 once every 4 games. But to me, to get over the hump and start winning playoff series, you're going to need a little more than that. It worked in the bubble because you had all those shooters. You had the youngest team, the youngest legs. The restart meant nothing to them. They didn't know any better.
And you're playing in one gym.
And they were playing with house money.
Yeah.
Now you're on the road. The pressure's on. Like you said, now there's fans back in the building. I was telling people the bubble's going to be a little different. Miami is not going to be one of the top teams in the East.
Yeah, people got to realize, like, if your role players don't travel well in the playoffs.
No.
Like, their game doesn't travel well.
Nope.
You're going to get your best game from your role players at home.
Exactly.
Comfortable, you know what I mean, all that. The road crowd, new gym, they don't come to play.
Not at all. Not at all. But
That's why, like, as far as like basketball wise, especially playoff wise, if you're the lower seeded team and you go down 0-2, I always try to give them that third game, that first game at home. I always try to give them that. And then I say, if they don't win their first home game, they're gonna get swept. That's how I always look at it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's how I look at it as well. Now that I'm thinking about it. And I mean, because I'm looking at the bottom of the East. Boston could potentially lose that playing game.
Yeah, if Boston goes to 7, then right now they would either play the Wizards or the Bulls, whoever get that 10
I
spot.
don't think they want to play Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook right now because you don't know what you're going to get. The Wizards blitz you. If I had to compare them to a football team, they're the team that's like, look, we ain't got all the talent, but we're sending 8 every time.
Yes.
We're coming.
Yes.
Hey, look, my safeties, God bless them. You know what I'm saying? I got one corner, and my safeties are hard hitters, but we got 8 in the box every time we're coming. We're coming off the edge. Monster blitz every time. 0 blitz every single time.
The Greg Williams.
That's it. That's it. We're coming for the quarterback. And they blitz you. They just run. They run hard. They're always on the attack. They never seem to get tired.
No.
And they've been on a hellacious run too. And Russell Westbrook.
What are they? Did they win 8 in a row?
Yeah, it was 8 in a row.
Something like that?
Yeah, man. And Russell Westbrook, for all the things people say about him, he can't win a championship, still not an efficient player. And I understand, like, I've been one of those people to say things. It's working right now.
Yeah.
And he looks like he's enjoying the game of basketball again without the pressure of being in a major market or being next to another superstar or next to a superstar.
And this is what he said he wanted, even when he was in Houston. Like, when he was in Houston, Harden controlled the ball.
Right.
And all Russ said is, I want to be able to dictate the offense.
Right.
And now you seeing what he meant.
And he has a right to feel that way.
Yeah.
And he has a right to dictate an offense where we're trying to just put up a whole lot of points. But if I'm trying to run a half-court offense, I don't think Russ should dictate that. That's just me. But, you get the right coach or the right GM that wants to, further his cause, I'm okay with it.
This is the Wizards, this 8-game win streak that they're on. This is the longest win streak that the Wizards had since Michael Jordan played for the Wizards.
That is wild stat. And I don't hear too many stats that make me feel old, but that is a super make me feel old kind of stat. You know, more NBA news. You got anything else you want to discuss? Sixers got Simmons and Embiid back. We'll see what
Your
happens.
boy John Wall out for the season.
Listen, man, I told people he was done. He was cooked. They gave him that extension, and I knew it. 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 I was called a hater. Oh, John Wall can still play. Listen, man, torn Achilles, torn ACL, following up on that while you're healing the Achilles, it's over. It's over. That contract is a behemoth. $40 million a year, 40-something million a
And
year.
there's 4 more years left on it.
4 more years left on it. Gilbert Arenas used to be the guy that could laugh at everybody, him and Rashard Lewis. No, it is now John Wall. John Wall is the Joker in Dark Knight. He's got that pile of money just sitting there, burning it. And then he's just like, let everything burn. You know what I mean?
Just like Bobby Bonilla, huh?
That's it. Bobby Bonilla, that is crazy. They hit him with the financial security package. I'm pretty sure the conversation was, look, you're an athlete. I know you like to spend money. They basically got what a 401k is going to give you for the rest of your life if you retire today, and it's got a lot of money in it. Bobby Bonilla, he's a G, and I respect him for being smart enough to take that deal.
Yo,
$1 million a year for 35 years.
it's over, I think, in 2035.
Yeah,
That's when it's over.
right. 2035, man.
July 1st, $1 million in your bank account.
Every July 1st, I will bug out all year round. Like, I know my Millie's coming, so
Yeah.
we acting up all summer. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And he already got money. Bobby Bonilla was a high-paid player, man.
Yeah.
But John Wall had so much. He's just going to cost your franchise so much. It's unfortunate. Like, I'm not happy. I'm not celebrating he's injured. But also, his game doesn't translate into winning basketball.
No.
He's never going to be a winning player. He's trying to round out his game now, have a little perimeter game, but now he's hurt again.
It's too late.
And then every year, I want people to understand, when I say these things, I'm not just focusing my lens on John Wall, who he is as a player, person, contract, whatever. Also understand, guys like him who never reach their full potential or haven't rounded out their game, every year that they don't do that or they end up hurt and try to come back, that's another generation of basketball players coming in behind you, doing what you do and having the skills that you don't have because you're from an older era. You no longer fit in the NBA game. No one wants to have a point guard that plays like you. You're a poor man's Allen Iverson.
Yeah.
That is it. It's inefficient basketball. And you're not dominant enough or efficient enough to sustain. So when I say that, it's John Wall squandering the opportunities in his career to be a better player. I feel like I can recognize who worked hard enough to become better at the point guard position. We've seen Jason Kidd become a different player.
Yeah.
We've seen several players change their entire game. Ray Allen, you're in the league. What more motivation do you need? So, I don't know, man. I get on my John Wall tangents. Houston, I feel bad for the fans. James Harden just damn near, I don't know what that act was. That's one of the all-time, we're just not good enough. And then slap the mic and walk away. He wasn't even like legit mad. You could tell he was acting.
No.
It was the worst acting job in NBA history. But the fact that he said it, they had to do something about it. That franchise, man, they're doomed, man. And Christian Wood, you trust. That's it, man. Christian Wood, baby.
That's it.
Yo, man. Anything you looking forward to? We could talk more about the NBA next week. This is episode 10. We made it to 10 episodes, man.
Yeah, man.
It's consistency, man.
So that's a milestone. That's a nice little number, 10.
That is number 10, man.
You should have had some like confetti or some shit.
We're gonna bring confetti down from the roof on episode 25, and we're gonna have special guests and stuff.
Okay.
Deshaun Watson might not be doing anything. We can invite him here
Yeah,
by that
we-
time.
yeah,
he
we
might
can.
be sitting on the couch. Come here and speak your piece, baby.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I just saw some tragic news, man. And I did Geno Hayes pass away?
Yeah.
The linebacker?
Yeah.
Because we just found out he was sick last week.
Yeah.
What was his illness?
I don't know. I just saw it today. I saw it at the bottom line.
Yeah,
It was
saw it on
like-
the bottom line. We got
he
some
passed
sports
away.
on here. So, yo, rest in peace, Geno Hayes, man.
Yeah, man. Rest in peace.
Yeah, man. Were there any other sports deaths this week?
Not that I know of.
Yeah, man. But that's crazy. He was only 33 years old.
33
man.
years old.
Had a short career, ended due to injury. It's wild, man. This has been a wild year, man, just for people passing away. Non-sports DMX funeral. Did you get a chance to look at it?
No.
I love the genuine speech from the people that spoke. Styles P started it off. DMX is the ghettoest person ever. I loved it, man. I loved it.
That's what it's all about, like man.
Yeah, keep it real.
Yeah, when you go to a funeral, like, yeah, you want to get your cries out, whatever, but you need to just be you.
And don't tell people I was a saint. Don't tell people all my bad business. But don't tell them I was a saint. Tell them you had fun with me.
Yeah, keep it real.
Right. If you had good times with me, speak on it. And it was dope to see that, man. And in time of tragedy, it was nice to see all those people come together, get their closure. You saw some of the toughest dudes in hip hop cry and shed tears. But it was dope overall to see that, man. R.I.P. Black Rob. We didn't get to touch on that. That was another piece of our generation. Black Rob was another one of those guys, people's champ. These are those guys that nobody ever said was whack.
Right.
Like, there's nothing whack about Black Rob. Oh, since the last podcast, Derek Chauvin was guilty.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, man?
Like I said, it's a step in the right direction.
Right.
Small step.
Small step.
Still got a ways to go.
I'm tired of the people who are saying, like, oh, man, I don't know why people are happy about this. I'm always happy about a crooked cop that killed a black man potentially going to jail for 40 to 50 years. Mm-hmm. There's nothing wrong with that. Stop trying to be the thief of joy. You have to have Derek Chauvin go down so the next 10 or 12 can go down. And then from there, the next 100, and we could start a trend. Because, see, there's a trend of them not going down. Mm-hmm. So to get it going, like you say, small step in the right direction.
Yep. We got it. Hopefully this is the snowball effect.
Yeah. And we'll see. We'll see, because every other day it looks like there's another police shooting. But one thing I'm happy about is we're actually getting the information on what happened. Yeah. Whether I agree with how people feel about it or not, we're actually getting body cams.
Yep.
That situation in Ohio, we got the body cam the next day, or like later that night.
We like now we're just dealing with people that just they don't like to read up on information.
No.
So
this ain't the information generation.
No. So when Derek Chauvin is found guilty, then you're always gonna have the naysayers. Oh, this is like we're finally here. No, we're not here yet.
Yeah, we're not there.
We're not there yet.
We haven't reached the mountaintop yet.
No, this is Mount Kilimanjaro. We're still. It's a long way.
It's a perfect way to put it.
We're still pretty much at the bottom.
Right.
And we gotta dig and fight. But I mean, eventually, I think we're gonna get there. But we just had to make an example out of one. We got one, so now that's gonna have it in the back of everybody else.
It's gonna be in the back of a cop's mind. 40 years if I do this thing. If I want to be a jerk, see, because the thing is, there's no question of an accident or like mistaken death, or I thought it was my tape, thought it was my guy. He made a man suffer and was arrogant about it to the camera.
Very.
Next time a cop wants to do that to somebody who's in a prone position, they got to think about 40 years. They got to think about body cameras. They got to think about the people around them recording. And now they're learning. Mm-hmm. They're learning. It's a new world. It's a new day, whether people want to accept it or not, man.
Yep.
So, and I'm hoping his family got a little bit of closure. You can never bring George Floyd back. You can't bring anybody back. Mm-mm. But I'm just hoping they got a little bit of closure because justice was served in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man. But Pick and Roll Podcast. Make sure y'all follow us on Instagram, Indio Group. Find us, Indio Media Group, on Facebook. Also follow Henny Hardaway on Facebook for your daily obscene jokes and great sports debate. You can also, what else? I said them all. So it's Facebook, Instagram, Henny Hardaway.
You said it all.
It's not suitable for work, so if you have to go into an office, NSFW, do not read his jokes out loud. Just reach over to a trusted person, show him the phone, take the phone back, and then clear your timeline.
That's it.
That's it, man. That's all I'm saying. But, yo, this was a great podcast as usual, and we'll catch y'all next week. Episode 10, we out.
Peace.